butt. The good commissioner is on with us. Burl Cain, Commissioner, Mississippi Department of Corrections. Good morning, sir. How are you?
I'm doing fine. Good morning to you. Hope you're doing well.
Doing well, and are you feeling okay?
I am.
Okay, good. There are so many things I wanted to talk about with you, and we, I mentioned earlier, and we were talking about deaths being reported as far as the media is concerned, and I know you've gone through this a long time. The death rate in the prison is not much higher than the normal population, but it seems like every death that happens in prison, the news media wants to write it as suspicious. But I'm sure you've been through this a long time.
Well, age is one thing, and just the number of people. And let's talk about COVID deaths first, though, and it kind of says it all. The thing with COVID is we have 16 COVID deaths. And Tennessee has 27, Alabama 29, Louisiana 30. So that speaks for itself regarding COVID. We've done a really good job with COVID, and I'm real proud of what we've done there. And the thing was, we got in front of it, and then we also really stopped movement. And we had a lot of calls. People would call, moms want their kids moved, and we've had some legislators call, but when we explain to them why we don't want to move, then they all agree. Okay, well, cool. We got to get through this, and the safety is most important. But by not moving and not visiting, we kept it contained, and that's what's important. So I'm real proud of our job there. So they want to criticize us for COVID. They just need to look at our neighbors and go criticize them, leave us alone. And then the other death, it's just an age thing. We're a city of 17,000 people, and if you have a city with 17,000 people die. And the other thing that's really good is we've really improved health care. For the first time, all the nurses, all the health care providers are on board at Parchment and also at our other prisons. We're just about there. We had 286 vacancies, and we had 280 positions filled. So medical, we've really got that covered, and we've turned the curve. We should see any reductions. We should see reductions in death if it's due to poor medical treatment, which I'm not saying it was in the past. I'm just saying the medical treatment now is really, really, state of the art. That's what I said: good food, good medicine, good playing, and good praying. And we will take over the food production by March the 1st. They'll be eating the food that we prepare ourselves and not from an outside provider. Again, no criticism there, but good food, and that's what I say. You heard me say it, and good medicine. We've got both those covered now, and so we just now have to do our reentry program, and we'll be in good shape this next year. All
right, let me. Are you seeing that we have a contract for a cafeteria service or something as far as food service now, but March the 1st, the prison's going to generate its own cafeteria. They're going to run its own food program?
Right, and there's some reasons for that. Not to criticize the food vendor, because what they would do, they would cook in a single kitchen, and as they moved the food across the prison, they moved the contraband because it was contained inside the food. The inmates would put it in plastic bag or what have you, drugs, and it would be in the food, so they moved it. So the way to solve that problem is to cook at each kitchen. Stop moving the food, then you don't move the contraband. And so they had a network of movement of contraband, and so that's not efficient for the outside vendor, but we can do that and not cost any more money by doing it ourselves, and we don't move the food. So therefore, we stop the contraband flow.
I bet you everybody was happy on Pop-Tart Day, weren't they?
Yeah, and they're going to have Pop-Tarts. I hope we're going to have a lot of cookies. Cookies are fake to get you to go to church.
Yeah, that's exactly right. Now, is this going to be system-wide on all the different prisons? Every prison will have its own service like that?
No, that's the one that we have, the three, CMCF, Parchment, and the SMCI. And then some, we'll have impact on some of the regionals and that, but basically the private prisons do their own kitchen, their own contract, but they don't have to worry about moving food because they're just cooking in that one prison. So it's food movement is what we're containing. It's not that our vendor was a bad vendor, what have you. It's that we just need to stop moving the food.
I got you.
Makes sense, doesn't it?
Yeah, it does make sense. And I guess we're going to be able to use some of the stuff that we're growing on the farm, too, like places in Parchment.
we're growing more. We're going to really get into more production, more fresh vegetables, and as we get more staff, then we'll be able to have more work crews to harvest the vegetables by hand. And so we're kind of going back to that, which is really the way it should be. And inmates don't really mind. They're eating it, and they're eating better because they're eating fresh. So they'll work. They'll do it. I saw that at Angola. They didn't mind picking the vegetables and so forth because it was for them.
I know you guys keep up with this. The cost per meal, will that go up, down, or be about the same?
I think we're going to be saving we thought we'd save probably about $1 million over the whole year with us doing it ourselves.
Jeez.
And we will convert all the kitchen workers will be correctional officers, so they'll have dual purpose. You'll be a security officer as well as a kitchen worker, or working as a dietitian, and so we won't have duplication of staff. We'll just have security and that combined in one person.
Knowing you from the little time I've known you, you're probably going to have a culinary school to start there.
Oh, I will, for sure, because that's part of the reentry program. And that's when you talk about our wish list is, and it's not only mine, this is the governor. The governor brought me here to do this. He wants this place turned into an education program that we can have people employable when they get out of prison and stop the revolving door. That's what Governor Reeves wants. That's what he talked about to me, and he's supporting us in our budget that we do reentry programs.
Well, let me go back and ask you this as far as COVID is concerned. Are the medical facilities there to the point where you want them to be able to handle something like COVID?
We are. We're just about there. We had a conference call yesterday, and we are there because they have hired the staff. The staff is on board, and quality staff to provide the proper medical treatment. We have 2 new ambulances coming. Well, actually 3, one for each place, because we want to be in a hurry and get you to the doctor if you have catastrophic illness or injury. And so it's just to speed everything up from where it can happen to. Also, we're moving to have EMTs on each shift, so they'll be there if something happens. They'll have immediate medical treatment, and just have to fill all the positions. Our weakness right now is hiring correctional officers. And to remedy that, we're really working with our mid-level and higher-level staff about how you treat people and how you talk to people, because I think a lot of people left us because we didn't treat them well. And so we're going to be a friendly place to work, a good place to work. And then if that doesn't work, then I'm going to have to go back and ask for more money. But I'm trying not to do that.
Money's always going to be on the wish list, but what else is going to be on it for the 2021 session, which will be your first, and it's coming up before you know it?
Well, what you have there is I have to have the money to air condition Parchman. I think I have a way to do it. We wanted to do that. We have to have the money to repair and rebuild the infrastructure so the federal court doesn't take us over because of our facilities being, in poor repair and poor state and nothing working and everything broken. And so that's just merely from past administration not keeping it fixed and not keeping it up and just waiting for the Fed to come tell the state to fix it all and charge a lot of money. I've been there and done that in Louisiana. We're not going there. That's our wish list. Our wish list is infrastructure repair, showers, and all the things that are just trashed and torn up that they're repaired. But here's the other thing we're doing.
Can you hold on for a moment? Hold on, because we've got a break coming up, and I want to ask you a couple of other questions. It's the Commissioner of Corrections, Burl Cain, and coming up at 8:37, Vernon Jones, Georgia State Representative. We'll go to Georgia, find out what's... The Commissioner of the Department of Corrections, Burl Cain, is with us, spending some time with us. Vernon Jones, State Representative out of Georgia, will join us coming up at 8:37. We were talking about COVID and numerous other things, and if you want to continue where we were, sir. Are you there?
I'm here. I'm waiting for you.
I forgot what we were talking about, to be honest with you.
I want to talk about gangs a little bit.
Okay, let's do that.
Okay, we have opened the back gate at Parchman, and so that's good. We have people coming there who will help us employ. But the thing that's happening is, I got with the parole board chairman Pickett, and so we we now label the record, if you're gang affiliated, is that he's not going to be looking very much in favor with you giving you parole if you're in a gang, because we're just sending someone to the community that's going to start the gang or work in the gang in the community, which is not good, not safe for the public.
Mm-hmm.
So that's helping. Plus, now we've opened dormitories for people who want to renounce the gang so they can get away from them and get out of it. And those dormitories are gang-free. And thirdly, we send our leaders out of state. We have 4 going to Colorado, and their families don't like that. They don't like that either, but they can't be in a gang in Mississippi if they live in Colorado. So that's what we're doing. And so we're really pushing them back, really big time.
Well, this is kind of new because we were on a previous interview where we were talking about this, and you said you really didn't have that kind of gang problems in Louisiana. So this is a new ground to kind of mount this problem here in Mississippi.
I know, but it's a challenge, and so we can win, and we're going to win, and we're going to see them lose their influence in the prisons because we're going to also shake them down and take out the contraband because, if you recall, I told you I would go hire all those probation parole officers. Remember that?
Yep.
Well, we did. And now we have strike teams with 20-man strike team just hit Wilkerson, and they hit CMCF, and they hit South Mississippi, in removing the contraband and getting all that stuff out of there. So therefore, they don't have it to sell and trade, so their economy goes to the devil. And so then it puts them out of business. So everything we're doing is working, and so that's good. We're moving forward.
Is there any other talk about consolidation of the prison system itself, certainly in Parchment or some other places?
No, we have Parchment, and we're fixing it, repairing it. We have the others. We need all 3 prisons. We need them in all 3 communities. We don't want anything to cause any job loss in the Delta. So we're just staying like we are and moving forward.
We were having a conversation yesterday as far as prison reform is concerned, and I think a lot of people are talking about this, is how many people in prison, if you had the right support team, to get them out with early release. What would you think in the Mississippi prison system, Commissioner Cain, that percentage would be?
I think that I really don't have a clue. I know that you could, but the point is to get them out and them not be prepared to go into the workforce is getting them out to fail. That's the problem. They have to have a job, and they have to be employable, and we have to meet their substance abuse needs, and that's what we're doing. We intend to have a Betty Ford-type substance abuse prison or place to go for folks who are on parole, and maybe even go there before they parole, and if they violate parole, it's because of substance abuse, they go there rather than go back in jail, and let's
I got you.
cure their illness. Let's fix them.
In that same vein of thought, what do you think as far as the improvements we need to make as far as the drug courts are concerned?
Well, I think the drug courts are okay. I think we fail in prison to prepare them to reenter society, and that's why that the governor's told us in our budget request that we're to go forward with asking for the stuff we need for reentry, and that means VOTEC school improvement and add VOTEC schools. We're going to move over to the point that everybody's released from CMCF, not from willy-nilly prisons all across the state, because they got to have their driver's license and all the proper things and be prepared to go back in the community. We're not doing a good job of that right now, but we're going to fix that. So everybody will release from CMCF. Everybody comes in through CMCF. So then we'll be more effective with preparing them to reenter. See, now we're not ready, and that's why I was almost glad he didn't sign the bill before, because we didn't have the probation and parole officers to supervise them. Now we do. So now we could move forward with releasing people faster and, shorten the sentences if we want to do that. But then we have to also watch for victims, because victims really trump. And you don't want to offend the victims because they've been offended. It's terrible. And so those things have to be considered when we talk about these things.
Was some of our rules and regulations about the same as in Louisiana as far as release on parole, or were there some things that you wanted to customize or change?
No, I want to have. We are going forward with legislation for the reentry court, and that's where the judge can sentence you to the reentry court, and you may only stay 3 years on a 10-year sentence. And once we have you prepared to go in society with a skill in a trade, and you have done all the moral things and the anger management and all these social courses, then you can be released back on probation, back in the community. So you may do only 3 years of a 10-year sentence, but they will be prepared to go back in the community. We have to do a better job of reentry, and that's what we're doing.
Yeah, Commissioner Burl Cain, is our recidivism rate about the same as it was in Louisiana, or is it better or worse, or is it getting better or worse?
It's getting better, and Louisiana's is stabilized pretty much, but I think we're going to see a recidivism rate that we're going to all be proud of. Right now, it's not that good, but it will be because we didn't have the program. We just were keeping them here, and not really doing that kind of reentry programs and so forth because of the shortage of staff. And how that happened is crazy because it was because we weren't moving fast enough to hire them. Now you come see us, you get hired the next day. Before, you got hired in a month and a half. Nobody's going to wait a month and a half for a job that pays $14 an hour.
What's your thoughts as far as the medical marijuana bill that passed and is now going to be in the Constitution?
I have real mixed emotions. You know, some say it's a gateway drug, but then I know that my friend and cousin that has Parkinson's disease takes the medical marijuana and he's able to cope with his illness, and it made a difference. And so I know that it can help if it's properly administered and done. People do need it that have pain and issues like that. So it's good for that, but it's not good if it's abused.
Yeah.
It's not good if it's priced so high that those folks who need it can't afford it.
Will a prisoner be able to use that if they get a legitimate card from a doctor?
No. I'm sorry. No, we're not going to have that. I don't foresee that at all.
All right. Well, people asked me that question. I said I do not know, but now I do know. Well, could they sue? Well, I guess they could sue, but who knows what the outcome would be?
I do. I know the outcome would be they're not going to get it. So I'm being kind of cocky about it, but we're not going there because I just can't take the chance.
Well, first of all, it would be it's an environment. I don't think how in the world would that work as far as long-term environment like prisons and medical marijuana. But anything else, sir? I mean, you are staying busy.
Well, we do have we're going to build our church on Unit 30. It'll be ready for Easter Sunday. The gang renunciation is a big deal to us to get people out of gangs. The strike team is a big deal to us, and so probation patrol is rolling really well now. We're going to see it more effective, and so the public will be safer. A lot of good things are happening. It's a lot happening. We want to fence Parchment. I mentioned that before, the entire perimeter, but, like with a cattle-type fence, but we have to protect our perimeter. So we're doing it. It's working.
The legislature's coming up, and stay in touch with us, and we'd love to have you on when that's going on too, and have good happy holidays and take care of yourself.
Okay, thank you, and you do the same. I look forward to being with you again.
You got it. Next time in the studio, that is the Commissioner of Corrections, Burl Cain.